Hi, Scott Dunn with Rocket 9 Solutions. Wanted to bring something to the forefront regarding AI and what we see in our training classes. So there's this big concern about, are we using AI? What are we doing with AI? We got to get going with AI. We need a plan, etc. And I wanted to give a metaphor of what I think is happening that we might be missing. It's kind of problematic. So if we look at this situation right here, I have an example of what we're talking about in terms of we want to improve your health. Like that's your goal. What's the ROI for things we could do to improve your health? Well, you could very easily, right, if you look at effort, risk, and time, you could very easily just start right away with things like intermittent fasting, sleep hygiene, like get to bed earlier, turn lights off, get rid, the phone shut down an hour earlier. Maybe just 5-minute walks. Maybe if you have a standing desk, start using that. So these are very small things you could get going. Not necessarily massive rewards, but easy to get going and implement. And you'll probably see some difference as you try things out and learn from them. Next up, maybe you actually get an actual diet plan, or you join a gym, or you start some new active hobby like pickleball or tennis or something like that. At the highest end, in terms of effort and hopefully reward, you actually maybe get a trainer. You're going through books and reading to understand how the body works. Maybe join a running club. You actually sign up for a race. That kind of always gets me going. But these are bigger investments. You're probably going to see bigger bang for that effort, but they are bigger investments. You always know, boy, someone's legit. They got themselves a trainer. Wow, they're serious. So, but consider that. Take the same metaphor, and if you would go with me over to AI, when we're talking about AI enablement. So in the same way, we have different things that we can do in terms of effort, time, risk, and reward. Most easily, the leverage is going to be your embedded AI that's already there, ready to be used. That's things that already have functionality in Jira with Atlassian Intelligence, Azure DevOps. Zoom has AI functionality. Google Workplace has AI functionality, Mural, et cetera. So all these tools that we use already have AI functionality in them that we could be tapping in. It's right there in front of you. Not necessarily massive in terms of insights and competitive advantage and all that, because everyone's got access to those tools. But you could get going with them right away and start getting some value of the power of what AI can do. And they're right there in front of most of our folks. Next up, you can go out to the marketplace itself, and this is what a lot of people are doing. They're using ChatGPT, they're using Claude, Gemini. We're going out making requests. We're creating presentations. We're asking it to analyze certain data. We're trying to be safe about the data we put out there because, again, it goes out into the public domain, or for the most part, it does. So being mindful, and of course, everyone else has access to those too. So your competitors could also be using these marketplace tools as well. So whether that's a chatbot or API calls. In the end, the biggest effort and biggest bang for that effort is going to be your own internal platform. So you actually have your own models, you're training your own models. There's unique value that differentiates yourself from your competitors. That's great, but that is also the most effort, right? Most effort, also time, also risk. Just like a data warehousing project, these things are going to take some time. Lots of us have data integrity issues, data validation work that we got to do, garbage in, garbage out for a lot of that. So it's going to take some time. But a lot of these companies are thinking, oh, we got to use AI, and they jump right to this highest tier. Now, here's the problem with that is we are learning and we're new to that in your company and trying to figure these things out. There's cultural change, there's process change. People are worried about their job security. All these things are going on. You're rolling out this new change. And there's even stats out there that show some people are resisting it and trying to undermine those efforts. So there's no need to go out and jump for the highest level and the largest risk and all that. We can start by just getting familiar with what AI can do with tools that are already out there, with marketplace functionality. Again, being responsible, being careful with data and privacy, et cetera. But we can leverage some of those and start cutting in and learn from that and roll that learning and those changes over into what might be next down the road. But we don't have to wait to be using AI and taking advantage of the power of AI until we got our whole internal model and platform stood up and all that. We'll put that out there. I thought the metaphor might be helpful to consider. How can you just begin cutting in, getting some changes, some results right away with AI?